Alright, welcome team. Today we're just going to have a look at some past exam questions from 2022, all focused on the logarithmic and exponential functions section of the course. So we'll get straight into it, see how we go. This is from the March series. What have we got here? So we've got some variables, x and y satisfy this equation here, where n and c are constants. The graph of ln y against ln x is a straight line, and it passes through those points that we've got there as shown on the diagram, and we've got to find the value of n and the value of c correct to 2 decimal places. So the first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to write out, I'm going to take ln of both sides. So I'm going to go ln x n y squared equals ln c. Okay, so that's my first move. And then I'm going to use my log rule. So I can rewrite this as n ln x plus 2 ln y equals ln c. Now remember, when you've got two bits like this multiplied together, you could write that as ln x to the power of n ln y to the power of 2, and then those powers can be put in front of the logs. Okay, so that's just basic log rules that we should be familiar with. Okay, now then what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and write it in terms of a line equation, because you can see that I've got ln y here and ln x here, and this is a straight line that we've got here. So if we write it in a line format, we'll be able to use the fact that it's a straight line to find the constants there. So I'll rewrite it as 2 ln y equals ln c minus n ln x. And then I'll divide everything by 2. So I get ln y equals ln c over 2 minus n over 2 ln x. Okay, and hopefully you can see that this will be like our plus c of remember we've got y equals mx plus c, right? So the plus c part is this bit here, and then this here, the n over 2, negative n over 2, is going to be our gradient part of the line. Okay, so at this point I'm going to make the statement that gradient equals negative n over 2, and then I can use these points up here to write that. So change in y over change in x. So I'm going to go 1.21 minus 0.91, and then I'm just going to pop that over 0.31 minus 1.06. And so that will give me, when I rearrange that, n equals, I was getting 4/5 when I rearranged that. Okay, now once I know what that n is 4/5, I can rewrite the equation going back to, say, this step here. I can now use that 4/5, so I can say 4/5 ln x plus 2 ln y equals ln c. And then I'll use one of those points. So I'm going to use the first point, and they are the values of ln x, that's ln x, 0.31, and ln y. So I'll go 4/5 ln 0.31 plus 2 ln 1.21 equals ln c. And then so that will give me 2.668 when I chuck that in the calculator equals ln c. And then to get c by itself, and we take e of both sides, e to the 2.668 equals c. Therefore c equals, when you plug that into your calculator, 14.41. I'm going to 2 decimal places is what I've been asked to do there. So 5 relatively easy marks, I think, there. Okay, moving on. Okay, so we've got to solve this equation, correct to 2dp. So I'm going to use my log rules. I'm just going to do it in base 10. So I'm going to go log 2 plus 2x minus 1 bracket log 3 equals x plus 1 bracket log 4. So just using my log rules there. And then probably what I will do is I'll expand both of those brackets. So I'll get log 2 plus 2x log 3 minus log 3 equals x log 4 plus log 4. Now I'm going to gather my like terms. So I'll have 2x log 3 on this side, and I'm going to go minus x log 4 equals log 4 minus, now what I'm going to do, just to simplify things, that there, if I had simplified that, that would be log 2 over 3, just using our log rules. And then when I bring it across, it'll be, I'll subtract log 2 over 3. Okay. Now I'm going to factorize the x out of this. So I get 2 log 3 minus log 4. And on this side I'm going to get log 4 divided by 2/3. Now in this bracket here I'd get log 9 minus log 4. And over here 4 divided by 2/3 is like 12 over 2, so log 6 I think. And then this is x into log 9 over 4. Ooh, log 9 over 4 equals log 6. And so x should be equal to log 6 divided by log 9 over 4. And then when we pop that into the calculator, I'm getting a 2.21. Alright, hopefully that's making sense. Okay, another one, we've got to use our log rules to give this answer correct to 3 decimal places. So we want everything in ln, I think. So I'll leave that first side as ln e to the 2x plus 3. And then I'm going to make this next side, I'm going to go ln. Now how do I get that 2x into ln? I'm going to go ln e of 2x plus ln 3. So that would be my first move. And now in my second line, my left-hand side remains the same. But I can use my log rules to go, well, that's ln 3 e to the 2x, using my log rules there. So then once I've got ln blah equals ln blah, I can get rid of my ln. So I've got e to the 2x plus 3. But I can get rid of the ln's by going e to the power of both sides. So this will give me this, and then if I move all of the e's to one side, I'll get 3 equals 2e to the 2x, because I'm subtracting 1e to the 2x away from 3e to the 2x. Then I'm going to divide both sides by 2. So I'll get e to the 2x is 3 over 2. Now to get rid of my e, I'll take an ln of both sides. So I'll get 2x equals ln 3 over 2. And so x should be equal to ln of 3 over 2 and then over 2. Now, when I pop that into my calculator, I'm getting 0.203. Now, there was another one in here where part 5a, you had to sketch a suitable pair of graphs. So it's more on the numerical solutions of equations, but it's kind of helpful to be able to do a bit of sketching here. So we're sketching both of these graphs here, and so you know that you want to just be worrying about values from in the positive x-axis, because ln's undefined with a negative number. So maybe you go 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we know 2, 4, 6. Now you can use your table mode, or you can just work it out in your head. But we know that this one here, at 0 we've got 0. So we're here. When we put in a 1, we've got 3 take away 1, which is 2, so we've got something here. When we put in 2s, we've got 6. 3 times 2 is 6, take away 4, which is also 2. And then when we go to 3 threes are 9, take away 9, so you back down here. So you can see that the this graph is something like this. Okay, something like that. Okay, so that's that one. I haven't drawn it very well, but it's easier to do on paper. Now, let's look at ln(x). Well, it's undefined for 0, but you know at ln1 is 0, so you've got a point here, and you know that, well, let's just, I mean, even if we just chuck it in our calculators now, ln2 as a decimal is 0.6, so somewhere like this, and then ln3, you're looking at just over 1, and ln4 is like 1.38, so just go like this. Now if you go ln 0.5, you can see you get a negative number, so it's something like this. Okay, and you can see 1 root. You probably want to put in your values here, x-axis, y-axis, something like that. That's the general gist of that one. Okie dokie, moving on to June 33, 2022. We've got to show that we can write this as a quadratic equation. So my first step is to get everything in logs. So log base 3, I'm going to leave the left-hand side as log base 3 of 2x plus 1. I need to get all of the the right-hand side in terms of log base 3. So to write 1 as log base 3, would write it as log base 3 of 3, which is 1, plus, and I'm going to change this to log base 3 of x minus 1. Using my log rule, I'm going to write it squared. Now, what I want to do in my second line is combine those into one log so I can eventually get rid of my log base 3. So it'll be like this, log base 3 of 2x plus 1. Join those logs on the other side together with our log rule. So this would be log base 3 of 3 bracket x plus, no, not x plus 1, it's x minus 1, isn't it? X minus 1 all squared, just x minus 1 squared. And now we can get rid of our logs by doing 3 to the power of each side, which would give us 2x plus 1 equals 3 bracket x minus 1 squared. Probably what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to expand both sides. So this would be 3x squared. Now x squared minus 6x minus 3, I think. Hopefully that's right. Let me just think. X squared minus 2x plus 1. That should be a plus 1 there. A plus 3. So I've just done a couple of steps there. Maybe move everything across to the right hand side. So 3x squared minus 8x minus, is that right? Minus 2? Hang on, plus 2, isn't it? It's plus 2. I think it is. 3x squared minus 8x, yeah, plus 2 equals 0. Okay, so that looks to me to be our equation. So we've got 3 points there. Hence, solve the equation. Now, okay, notice that we've got the same thing, except instead of x's, we're using y's, and y, it's kind of like doubling it, isn't it, really? So my first thing would be, maybe I'm just going to go, 4y is equal to 2x. And so y equals to x over 2, or half x. Okay, so that's the conversion that I'm doing here. And then I'll probably just use the quadratic equation from this. So I'm going to go x equals minus 8 plus or minus square root minus 8 squared minus 4 times 3 times 2 all over 2 times, what's 3? And so we'd get x equals 4 plus or minus, now what is that? 64 take away 24, is that right? 4 3s is 12. 64, take away 24, square root 40. I think that's right, isn't it? Square root 64 minus 4 times 3 times 2. Times 3 times 2, and that would be 2 square root 10. Over, what would that be, over 6? So we can rewrite this. Let me just check. 4 plus square root 40 over 6. And what does this give us? I'm going to get x equals 2 Hang on, what am I doing wrong? Oh, I think this should be 8 here. That's what I've done wrong. So, should be 8. My apologies. 8 over 8 plus square root 40. Yes. Okay, there we go. That's what I did wrong. So we should be getting 2.3874 or 0.13962 if we use the minus. Now, since y is x over 2, we're just going to go and divide each of those by 2. And so we get y equals 1.19 or 0.07. Now, always just check that your answers make sense, because we're going to reject one of these answers. And the reason we're going to reject it is if we did, this one here is not going to be defined, because if we chuck that in here, we'd have 0.14 take away 1, which is going to be undefined for log base 3, because there's a negative number there, so that's not going to work. So we're just going to report 1.19 as our final answer. So make sure you just check and rid yourself of any answers that are undefined. Okay, moving right along. We are solving this equation here, and we want to give our answer in form of ln A over ln B. So obviously we want to convert these to ln somehow. So I'm going to take ln of both sides, and I'm just going to, in one step, I'm going to write like this using my log rules. And then on the other side, I'm going to go ln 5 plus ln 3 minus x, which I could then rewrite as 3x ln 2 minus ln 2 equals ln 5 minus x ln 3. So I'm just using another log rule there. Now, probably what I will do is I'll just gather my ln's together. So I get 3x ln 2. I'll add x ln 3 to that side. And then I'm going to get rid of this guy by adding him to the other side. So I'll get ln 5 plus ln 2. And so now I'm going to go and factorize out my x. So I'd get x bracket 3 ln 2 plus ln 3 equals, and on the right hand side we use the log rule, so we could rewrite that as ln 10. Now I'm going to use my log rules in this bracket, so that would be ln 2 to the power of 3, which is ln 8 plus ln 3 equals ln 10. And one more rule, we can write that as x into ln, now 3 times 8 is 24, ln 10 on the right hand side. So I say x equals ln 10 over ln 24, and that would be my answer. Oh, well, that was pretty easy, wasn't it? And that's a repeat in the October 32 exam. Okay, that brings us to our last question, I think. So we have to solve this equation. ln 2, whoops, don't do that. ln 2x minus 1 equals 2 ln x plus 1 minus ln x. Okay, first step, before we get rid of the logs, which is probably what we want to do, is we have to have ln blah equals ln blah. So we want just to simplify this side here. So my first step would be to write this, ln x plus 1 squared minus ln x. And then my second line, I'm going to simplify it still further. So that right hand side can become ln x plus 1 squared all over x. Now we can get rid of our logs, ln's, by going e to the power of both sides, which will leave us with 2x minus 1 equals x plus 1 squared over x. Now we rewrite this as 2x, we'll get rid of that x in the denominator by multiplying both sides with x, so 2x squared minus x equals x plus 1 squared. Expand out the right hand side, which will be x squared plus 2x plus 1. Bring everything across to the left hand side, so that would be x squared minus 3x minus 1 equals to 0. And then I think, well, we can't factorize that, so we're going to need to use the quadratic equation. So x is equal to minus 3 plus or minus the square root of b squared, so that would be minus 3 squared minus 4 times a, so times 1 times c minus 1, all over 2 times 1, which will give us 3 plus or minus the square root of, now that's 9 plus 4, so I think it's square root 13, is that right? 9, is it plus 4? It is plus 4, yeah, so I think it's square root 13 all over 2. And we're meant to give the answer to 3 decimal places, so let's just chuck this in the calculator. 3 plus square root 13 over 2, and so that gives me 3.303, and then if I use the minus sign, that will give me minus 0.303. Now let's just check to see if that actually works. No, it doesn't, and it doesn't work. I can just see straight away it doesn't work in here, so we're only going to report the first value because that works in both situations. In all of those situations, it won't be undefined. Alright, well, hopefully, I know it was very hasty, but I didn't have much time to do this video. I hope that's helpful to you. If you do have any questions, or if I've made any mistakes, which is fairly likely, just let me know in the comments, or talk to me at school. Right, take care. Bye.